thinking about books that challenged my thinking. Hey, gorgeous people, welcome back to the channel. Lerato here, and if you're new, welcome. I'm super glad that you decided to stop by. Hey, I am just on a journey of self mastery, entrepreneur life, and making money or getting right with my money. So, if that's your type of jam, please do stick around so we can just grow this community together. Reviewing some of the books and concepts that have changed my thinking has been quite an eye opener because when I go back to it and I think about what are the things that I learned from this particular book, it's amazing because every time I do that, I learn some more. You know the saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will come by. I think there's so many times where that saying actually um, came true in whatever is it that I was doing. And one of the things that I want to talk about, actually, the one thing that I want to talk about today is looking at one of the books that changed my thinking or challenged my thinking was this book here, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And I'm super glad that I actually got an opportunity to meet him. Very, very interesting old man, but he's got so much wisdom and a lot to learn if you're in the space of entrepreneurship or in the space of making money or in the space of looking at different ways that one can make money or become financially free. Now, if you had asked me when I was in what is it, grade 12, what do I want to do after school? I was not interested in really going into your corporate, and I really just wanted to travel the world and dance on stages. That's really what I wanted to do. But, lack of information, lack of um, knowing other things that are possible, especially when it comes to how we earn money, because I mean, what do your parents think? What does everybody think? How are you going to make a living? That's the first thing that comes up to everyone when you are about to leave school. So, had I known that there was another way that one can earn a living and also be able to be, flexible enough to be a creative or whatever, I would have done it right from school. But obviously, I did not have that information. So I went the traditional route, as everybody. But that did not stop me from searching, because I've just always searched for, there must be another way, there must be another way. Now, I think when I was ready to find the new way or the other way is when I bumped into this book. And I bumped into this book. I went to go visit my aunt, and they had a pile of books, a box full of books that were donated to them. And he said to us, "Oh, you can have, there's some books in there that you guys can have a look through and maybe find something interesting." And this book was at the top of the pile. Now, what drew me closer was the Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I was like, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, what does that mean? And I looked at it and I thought, this is a new copy. But that was like a very old copy that I had found at the time. And I looked at it and I thought, okay, this is interesting, what the rich teach their kids about money that the poor and the middle class do not. And I thought, okay, that's an interesting title. So I took the book to read it. And I kid you not, I held that book and I never put it down until I remember I used to read it as soon as I come back from work. I had started working by then. As soon as I come back from work, I'd read it at night. Like, I would read that book because I was so fascinated about the things that were said in that book. So a couple of things that that stood out for me that were a game changer when I read this book was the fact that there is another way that one can earn money, because growing up or normally, and I think it's probably much better now, is the only way that people, or the majority, if I should say, knew about making money was actually going and trading your time for money. That is what everybody still thinks. You have to trade in your time for you to be able to get money. But the problem with that for me was that I have to trade in my time, and I want to do other things with my time. At the time, I wanted to literally just travel around, dance on stage. I wanted to do that without having to worry where my paycheck was coming from. Yes, I could make money with creative arts, but I think it probably, can take more time and is not as easy for you to be able to make money through those things, especially if you are not 100% dedicated to, doing that. But this was big for me. There is another way. So, number one thing I learned is that there's another way that you are able to make a living or to earn money without trading your time for money. The second thing I learned is that you do not have to be rich for you to actually start creating the rich life or the financial freedom that you want. That's another myth, is that you have to have a lot of money to make a lot of money. But it's not about that. It's about how you use your money and how you keep your money and how you let your money work for you. So being smart about the way that you use your money. That again was an eye opener. I mean, I learned there's a thing called the poor brain and the rich brain. All it means is that if you have a poor brain, you take the money that you earn, that you worked hard for, that you traded your time in for, and you use that to pay for your expenses, and then your money is gone. But the rich brain, you take the money that you worked hard for and you invest that so that whatever you get from your investment is what you're going to use for your liabilities. We're going to talk about liabilities just now. So, different way of thinking. It's not about how much money you have, it's how much money you can keep, how you use your money. So we have to be smart with our monies. Game changer. The third thing I learned, which I thought was amazing and simplified, is the difference between asset and liability. Most of us get it confused. We think that our liabilities are actually assets, but we're lying to ourselves. So the best explanation is a liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. Whether you are maintaining it, whether you pay to keep it, if it takes money out of your pocket, it is a liability. So your house that you live in, yes, is a liability. Then an asset is something that puts money into your pocket. It doesn't matter what happens, it puts money into your pocket. You don't have to pay anything to make sure that this thing stays in your life. Instead, it pays you. So that is the difference between liabilities and assets. And the fourth thing I learned, which again is also game changer, is the 4 quadrant of earning. Understanding exactly which quadrant I fall into or different people fall into when it comes to the type of way that we earn money. So on this 4 quadrant, he says the first quadrant, you've got the employed, which is employees, which is everybody that's employed, everybody that trades in their time for money. So you work for a big business, you have to go there, trade your time so that you can get paid. You're an employee. So that is the first way that one is able to earn money. The second part of it is self-employed. So self-employed is basically everybody that owns their own job, doctors and all these people that they have to also trade in money. They also have to trade in their time for them to get money, but they are self-employed, okay? And the difference with this part of the quadrant is that you can only work so much hours. You can only trade your hours or your time to up to a limit. There's a ceiling. You cannot work extra hours or you cannot add additional hours for you to get more money. So it's kept. And 90% to 95% of the people are actually on this side of the quadrant, which is pretty scary if you think about it. On the other quadrant or on the other side, you've now got the B, which is the business people, people that own the big businesses. So these are the people that whether they show up or not at work, their businesses are going to carry on. And usually these are the people that own the businesses that they employ employees work at. So the employees are the ones that make sure that the operation is going. The business people don't have to be there, but the business carries on. So they are using other people's time to get money. Then we get the fourth one. The fourth one is then the I, which is the investors. These are all the people that use their money to get more money. Instead of trading time, instead of trading anything else, they basically just take their time, their money, and they invest it, and the money just makes more money for them. So understanding the four quadrant of earnings was another big aha moment, that if you are in this side, you're going to be kept. And if you want to then move to the other side, these are the different things that you need to do. So I'm on a journey of that, and it's exciting stuff that you get to find out. Hard, but exciting stuff. So basically, I did learn a lot from this book. It was actually the first book I've read about money, that was giving me different ideas. So the whole concept about the book is about two dads that teach their kids differently when it comes to money. The rich dad teaching their kids that you need to use your money to make money, leverage, the type of things that you need to do, invest, have businesses, all those sorts of things. And then on the other side, the poor dad is teaching their kid about it's hard to make money. You have to go to school to make money, the traditional concepts that we all know. So Robert, who wrote the book, basically had the opportunity to have to be in a space of two worlds: the rich dad, and which was his friend's father, and his dad, which was the poor father. So he managed to see the difference from the two in how they were raising their kids. So amazing book. Check it out. So much you can learn. I've just told you about the four things that stood out. I mean, there's many more things that stood out, but just the four that stood out for me and really kick-started the way I think, and to start thinking differently, and basically took my mind and exploded it. And yeah, to be honest, this book did send me down a rabbit hole in the beginning. I mean, I went searching for all the things that he was talking about, because I wanted these solutions. These were the solutions that were talking to me, so I wanted these solutions. So I went through the rabbit hole, and I dug and I dug, and if you know, there's so many things that are out there that I found, that I tried, that I invested in. I mean, I lost money, I made money, but I learned so much. And I've learned to identify with what works for me, what doesn't work for me, exactly what is it that I want, and what is it that I can tailor to what I want. There's a lot that I've learned. And so as much as it sent me down that hole, it sent me down a hole that opened up another whole new world that I'm still discovering. As I said, I'm on a journey to get my money right, my mind right, and my life right. So it was a great, great book. And that's why I said that when the student is ready, the teacher will show up, whether it comes in a form of a book, whether it comes in a form of a concept, whether it comes in a form of a coach, or it comes in a form of a lesson, anything. But when you're ready to learn about something, the teacher will show up. You just have to acknowledge it, and you need to follow up and take the action, because that's the biggest thing that I've learned. And I know that knowledge is the new money. So if we want to make money in the next centuries, or in the new world, we have to have the knowledge. But best of all, we have to be able to put action, intentional action, so that it's not just knowledge, because they say knowledge is not power, applied knowledge is power. So because of this, I want to do a lot of reviews of books and concepts that have changed and challenged my thinking, and have helped me to be able to increase my earnings effectively. Check it out yourself. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you've learned. Let me know how it, challenged or changed you. They say if you want to improve in whatever thing or whatever area, you have to grow first. You have to improve yourself first. So I hope you found that inspirational as I did this book when I first read it. let me know if you've read it. Let me know what you learned from it. And also, if there are any particular books that you feel are along the same route, those are going to challenge us, make us think differently, make us become better people. Do share, because I'd love to just read and just grow myself. Because as I said, I'm all about self mastery. I'm all about this entrepreneur life where we get to do the things that we love, and about making money, or getting right with our money to make sure that it does not disturb us. If you like what we spoke about, and if you have not done so yet, please do subscribe and like and comment so that we can grow this community together, because I know I'm not the only one that wants to get right with this. So I want us to win together. So see you next time.